Recently, I completed the first season of Andor, and throughout the season, I was frequently reminded of the 70s. One particular example of this is when Senator Mothma's car lands and evokes images of classic cars from that decade. The use of this classic motif helps to create a sense of comfort and familiarity, and it also helps to ground the show. The Star Wars franchise is heavily influenced by the culture of the 1970s. This was a decade that was marked by social and political upheaval, and the original Star Wars films reflect this. For example, the Rebel Alliance in the films is a clear metaphor for the countercultural movement of the 1970s, which was fighting against the establishment of the Empire. The beauty of Andor is the way that it cleverly reconciles that used future aesthetic from the original trilogy with the revisionist themes of the 1970s cinema, creating a fresh and engaging experience for the viewers. You know, I saw The Mandalorian and Obi-Wan Kenobi, which I enjoyed very much. But for me, Andor is a completely different beast, focusing more on character development, storylines, over lifesaver battles. Overall, without a doubt, Andor is my favorite addition to the Star Wars universe. The 1970s was a time of great technological advancement, with the development of personal computers and the internet, which inspired many science fiction writers to explore the potential consequences of these innovations. It is also reflected in the show's production design, overseen by Luke Hull. The show's technology looks derived straight from the 1970s science fiction. In the Axe Forgets episode, Karis Nimmick's navigation device is obviously based on a Polaroid SX-70, which was in production from 1972 to 1981. When Cassian is sentenced at the end of the announcement episode, the judge uses a device clearly modeled on a knucklebuster, an old credit card imprinter that became obsolete in the 1980s. Andor is notable for largely building its own worlds and characters, but doing them in a way that manages to be both faithful to the classic Star Wars and also stand apart from it. Star Wars was a hybrid of Lucas's influences, combining elements of classic war movies and the films of Akira Kurosawa. The new Hollywood era saw a wave of revisionist westerns that updated classic genres that include films such as The Wild Bunch, High Plains Drifter, and The Outlaw Josie Wales. In an interview with Filmmaker magazine, showrunner Tony Gilroy revealed his lack of enthusiasm for the Star Wars franchise, admitting that he was not a huge fan before working on Rogue One. However, Gilroy also discussed his deep love for 70s movies, citing the combination of muscular filmmaking and engaging in subject matter as the key elements that drew him to these films. Additionally, Gilroy noted the presence of ambiguity, complexity, and loose ends in the 70s movies as appealing qualities that continue to captivate him. Even after his work on Rogue One, Gilroy still finds himself returning to these classic movies time and time again. The 1970s saw a wave of filmmakers who were graduates of film school and had deep appreciation for genre fare. Many of these directors would take these influences and synthesize them into new works or offer updates on classic genres. This set them apart from previous filmmakers and contributed to the distinct style of the 1970s cinema. According to Escapist magazine, Andor has constructed its core three arcs around genres that were heavily revised by the 1970s cinema. The first arc is a war movie with a post-Vietnam War perspective, drawing comparisons to 1970s films like Where Eagles Dare, The Eagle Has Landed, and Force 10 from Navarone. The second arc is a heist movie influenced by 1970s films like The Anderson Tapes and Dog Day Afternoon, with connections to work of Martin Scorsese and Sidney Lumet. The third arc is influenced by 1970s prison films like Cool Hand Luke, Papillon, and Escape from Alcatraz, drawing more on grounded, cynical versions of these genres that emerged in New Hollywood. It clearly shows how the Star Wars franchise is heavily influenced by the culture and movies of the 1970s, as well as the epic adventure films and countercultural movements of the era. This helps make Andor one of the most grounded shows in the new Star Wars streaming era. Andor is a Star Wars TV show that adds to the franchise while staying true to the original films. It uses themes from 1970s cinema to modernize the series while maintaining the aesthetic and cynicism of the original trilogy. Guys, in this way, Andor is a game changer for the Star Wars universe. What a brilliant piece of TV, and I can't wait for next season. Guys, please drop a like and subscribe. It really means a lot to my work on this channel. Guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.